The Bloodline Attacks Jay Uso. Rikishi replaces the wise man Paul Heyman. Uncle Howdy's WWE return date leaked. Becky Lynch trapping WWE as her contract expires in 2 weeks. Rey Mysterio upset WWE split him. And Dominik Mysterio. Damian Priest making a leap to Hollywood. Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul leads to controversy and more. Let's dive right in. Uncle Howdy's WWE return date leaked. The inevitable WWE comeback of Uncle Howdy is almost upon us. Going by the latest QR code and the clues from it, it looks like Howdy and his rumored faction could be seen on TV at the King and Queen of the Ring on May 25th. The trend of hints being dropped for Uncle Howdy continued this week as another mysterious QR code appeared during the tag team match between Legado del Fantasma and DIY. As expected, many fans spent a few minutes decoding the new code, which resulted in a few fascinating revelations. The QR code leads to a web URL with the number 22423, which is, incidentally, the postal code in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. An ex-user pointed out that number also possibly refers to an old Bray Wyatt video titled, "Can You Keep a Secret?" While nothing has been outrightly confirmed, all roads lead to the twisted masked star returning to WWE at the next PLE in Saudi Arabia, and he might not be alone. It's a well-established fact by now that Bo Dallas was wearing the Howdy mask when Bray Wyatt first introduced the character to the WWE Universe. The hope is that Wyndham Rotunda's brother will soon reprise the role when he appears on TV. Howdy's return, however, is just one aspect of WWE's grand plan to pay homage to Bray Wyatt. As reported by PW Insider, Howdy is expected to be joined by Eric Rowan, Nikki Cross, Joe Gacy, and Dexter Lumis. The exclusion of Alexa Bliss from the list has certainly raised a few eyebrows, but the names currently slated to be a part of WWE's new group have valid reasons to be involved in the Bray Wyatt tribute angle. Fans are obviously excited about the storyline in which Bo Dallas, as Uncle Howdy, is expected to lead the charge of a potentially new-looking Wyatt family. Becky Lynch trapping WWE as her contract expires in 2 weeks. Wrestling veteran Matt Morgan believes Becky Lynch will stay in WWE despite not re-signing a new contract. The TNA legend claims that her not doing so would make no sense. The man joined the Stamford-based company over a decade ago. She has since become one of the top superstars on the roster. However, the Women's World Champion is reportedly yet to sign a new deal, although her current one will expire in 2 weeks. While Lynch's husband, Seth Rollins, allegedly re-signed a new deal with WWE earlier this month, Morgan believes the man would eventually do the same. The wrestling veteran claimed on the Gigantic Pop podcast that she must do so for multiple reasons. She ain't going nowhere. You gotta think so, but geez. They are cutting into the wire with one of their top stars. Okay, but they have their family together. They both go in the same tour bus. The fact they have all of that, they have so much money, they're gonna make more money. The company's still growing. They have more money to go get, quite frankly. She's not going nowhere. It makes no sense, he said. Despite her contract being close to expiring, the company decided to put the Women's World Championship on Becky Lynch when Rhea Ripley relinquished the title due to injury. The man will now defend it against Liv Morgan at King and Queen of the Ring. On an episode of the Busted Open podcast, Hall of Famer Bully Ray explained why he believes WWE booked Lynch to win the Women's World title after Ripley's injury. When you have a situation like what happened with Rhea Ripley, where there's an unfortunate accident, she gets injured, and you have a championship that you need to double park on somebody, you double park it on a huge star, because the huge star will be able to carry the championship until you build a star that you wanted to get to, he said. Bully Ray also believes Dominik Mysterio could help Liv Morgan dethrone Becky Lynch. It would be interesting to see if that scenario will happen at King and Queen of the Ring in Saudi Arabia. Do you think Becky Lynch will re-sign with WWE? Rey Mysterio upset WWE split him and Dominik Mysterio. WWE Hall of Famer. Rey Mysterio had a tough hill to climb while feuding with Dominik Mysterio and the Judgment Day. The Master of 619 recently revealed why the management split the father-son duo. After becoming the first father-son duo to win the tag titles in WWE, Dominik Mysterio turned heel and joined the Judgment Day. The two were kept on different brands for months before they came face-to-face inside the square circle at the grandest stage of them all in Hollywood. During a recent appearance on the Jackson podcast, the host asked Rey Mysterio why he and Dom split and who in the creative team came up with the idea. The Hall of Famer stated that it was a collaborative effort, and the two had very different career paths and styles, which led to the split. They kind of figured out that we had different paths. We didn't have the same style of wrestling. They came up with the idea. When I say they, the writing team, Triple H, Bruce Pritchard. They said if we go this way, Edge at the time was part of WWE. Edge was getting ready to form a group, which was the Judgment Day, he said. Mysterio also said that they wanted the story to feel real, and that's what made it successful. The main idea behind it was the fact that we try to relate wrestling as much as we can to real life, And who doesn't fight with their kids? Kids always think that they're right and their father's wrong. They don't take advice from the dad, and to portray that story on TV for the fans to view was probably the success of the story, he said. In 2022, Rey Mysterio was forced to leave Monday Night Raw after Dominik Mysterio joined the Judgment Day and attacked his father. Instead of granting him a release, Triple H assigned the Master of 619 to Friday Night SmackDown. After a feud with Dirty Dom and reviving the Latino World Order, the father and son were separated with their respective factions on different brands in 2023. However, they found a way to feud again and had a tag team match at WrestleMania XL. Last month, the Latino World Order and the Judgment Day were drafted to Monday Night Raw during the annual WWE Draft. It will be interesting to see if both stars cross paths again on the brand. Damian Priest making a leap to Hollywood. The villainous Judgment Day stable consisting of Rhea Ripley, Dominik Mysterio, Finn Balor, JD McDonough, and Damian Priest has been dominating WWE Monday Night Raw for the past 2 years. The Archer of Infamy, who won the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania XL, recently opened up about his Hollywood aspirations. The 41-year-old star cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase on Drew McIntyre at this year's WrestleMania to capture the World Heavyweight Championship for the first time. He successfully defended his title against Jey Uso at Backlash France. Speaking on The Rob Brown Show, Damian Priest was asked if he'd trade the ring for acting in films. The World Heavyweight Champion shared that while becoming a movie star sounded enticing, being a WWE superstar was his true passion. Like anybody else, it'd be fun. Yes and no. Yes, in the sense of, I wouldn't mind doing it. It's something like, who doesn't want to be a movie star? Having fun with that and creating something new. At my core, I'm a WWE superstar. This is all I've ever wanted to do with my life. While I could do something like that, I just can't see myself not doing my gig now full time, he said. At the Night of Champion 2023 Premium Live event, Seth Rollins pinned AJ Styles to become the new World Heavyweight Champion under Triple H's regime. It wasn't until WrestleMania 40 that the Scottish Warrior finally dethroned the Visionary before Priest seized the moment to become the new champion. During the same conversation, the Archer of Infamy noted that he wanted to become a worthy champion and elevate the WWE World Heavyweight Championship as Rollins did. For me right now, I want to be that type of champion that, like Seth Rollins was, a workhorse. I want to defend the title. I want to take on everyone and anyone at any point. When it comes to the roster, I want a piece of everybody. I want a piece of everybody. It's usually the opposite, Priest said. On this week's episode of WWE Raw, the Judgment Day member confronted McIntyre and claimed the latter should not blame others for his mistakes. Reportedly, Damian Priest is set to defend his World Heavyweight title against the Scottish Warrior at Clash at the Castle 2024 in Glasgow, Scotland. Is Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul a good idea? The build-up for Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul continued on SmackDown, and Dutch Mantell felt that Rhodes and Paul had natural chemistry. After Cody Rhodes' successful title defense over AJ Styles, many wondered how WWE would book his title reign heading into a PLE in Saudi Arabia. The answer was a high-profile champion versus champion match, with Cody Rhodes set to face Logan Paul at the King and Queen of the Ring Premium Live event in Jeddah. During the contract signing segment on this week's SmackDown, the Maverick managed to make changes to his match with Cody Rhodes. It will now only be contested for the undisputed WWE title and not the United States Championship. While Cody is the favorite to retain his title, Dutch Mantell anticipated a great match from Rhodes and Paul. Based on their interactions on TV, Mantell believed Cody and Logan were ideal opponents as they seemed to complement each other well. He said, "They do have chemistry. You can't manufacture that. They either got it or they don't have it. And these two guys have it. So if they turn them loose, let them go. Leave them alone in a room for an hour or two, and they've got their match. They are working on it now, but it would be a great match." Logan Paul's track record of putting on solid matches hasn't gone unnoticed. The American Nightmare has been one of the best workers in the industry for years. And it's safe to say that he and Logan Paul will likely have the match of the night at the upcoming Premium Live event in Saudi Arabia. Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul leads to controversy. During the latest edition of SmackDown, it was clarified that only the undisputed WWE Championship belt is at stake at the upcoming Premium Live event, as Logan Paul has refused to put his United States title on the line. However, veteran journalist Bill Apter thinks both championships may be in play in some way, leading to a storyline controversy that could extend the feud. Speaking on Sportskeeda's The Wrestling Time Machine, hosted by Mac Davis, Bill Apter praised Logan Paul while making his predictions for the match. "I can see some sort of controversy coming out of this where maybe both belts are held up or something. Some sort of huge controversy to keep that going. Because in terms of ring, young Logan Paul he's like a veteran in the ring. He knows what he is doing. Doesn't have to think about it. It all comes naturally. Cody is the same way. So this is going to be a real magnificent match. Rikishi replaces the wise man Paul Heyman. There's a lot of uncertainty brewing in the Bloodline on WWE SmackDown. Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa don't seem to be on the same page, which could lead to issues down the line. But what if the new tribal chief removes the wise man from the group? Solo's father, Rikishi, was recently asked about the possibility of replacing Heyman in the Bloodline. The WWE Hall of Famer claimed he would see the move coming from a mile away and expressed his interest in becoming the new Wiseman. Speaking on his podcast, Rikishi Fatu Off the Top, he admitted it would make sense for him to join the Bloodline. While initially reluctant to the idea, Rikishi revealed how he would change things by ensuring an even playing field on both sides of the dominant faction. Damn it. Every time I keep trying to leave myself out, you guys keep trying to pull me back in. And of course, I'm not saying no, I won't. What I'm saying is, hey, I'll see it coming a mile away and I'll know when it's time for me to throw my name in the hat, said Rikishi. At the end of the day, we're gonna make sure that this is gonna be an even playing field for the Bloodline on both sides, he added. Rikishi went on to praise Jey Uso's run to the King of the Ring semi-final. He will face Gunther this coming week on WWE Raw, with a spot in the tournament final on the line. Later in the same episode of his podcast, Rikishi spoke about his nephew, Jacob Fatu. The WWE Hall of Famer essentially claimed that he would be the Samoan Werewolf's manager if he needed one, while rejecting a legendary name's proposal to come out of retirement to manage the real-life Bloodline member. WWE fans are eagerly waiting for Fatu's debut. However, there reportedly are concerns over the Samoan Werewolf potentially outshining his cousin, Solo Sikoa, who has been placed as the tribal chief. So, if Jacob Fatu does need to debut as an individual, who better to endorse him than Rikishi? That could eventually lead to the Attitude Era legend replacing Paul Heyman as the Bloodline's Wiseman, as teased earlier. The Bloodline Attacks Jay Uso. Solo Sikoa has been calling the shots for the Bloodline in recent weeks amid Roman Reigns' absence. The Enforcer has not only brought new members into the faction, but he has also been making autonomous decisions lately and wreaking havoc on the blue brand. The Bloodline could make its presence felt on Monday Night Raw, as one of its members might go to the red brand for a huge task. The upcoming edition of Raw promises to be a spectacular show, as it will feature the semi-finals of the 2024 King and Queen of the Ring tournament. One of those matches will be between Jey Uso and Gunther, as they will compete to advance to the finals of the men's tournament, which will take place in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Solo Sikoa might send Tonga Loa to the red brand to clear some old debts from the Yeet Master. The 41-year-old star could screw main event Jey Uso and cost him his semi-final match on Raw on the orders of the Enforcer. One of the reasons it could happen is because of the bad blood between Solo and Jey. Sikoa, who was previously confined under Roman Reigns' orders, could finally make his move and make the Yeet Master pay. He could therefore send Tonga Loa to Monday Night Raw to become Jey's biggest hurdle against Gunther. This could also sow the seeds of Jey Uso's involvement in the Bloodline saga, which took an interesting turn in Reigns' absence. Tonga Loa going to Monday Night Raw, upon Solo Sikoa's orders, and costing Jey Uso his match against Gunther, could give rise to an intriguing storyline. This will not only help the Ring General advance to the finals of the King of the Ring tournament, but it will also open the doors for Jey's involvement in the Bloodline saga once again. The Yeet Master could also make his appearance on the upcoming episode of SmackDown to cost Tama Tonga his King of the Ring semi-final match against Randy Orton. The 38-year-old star could return the same favor by making Solo Sikoa and the Bloodline pay for their actions on the blue brand. This could eventually sow the seeds for the much-anticipated battle between the Samoans. The new Bloodline under Solo Sikoa could make Jey Uso their next target, which will pave the way for the return of Jimmy Uso, ultimately leading to the reunion of the Usos in WWE. Not to mention, Tonga Loa costing the Yeet Master his match, and Jey Uso costing Tama Tonga his match, could also pave the way for the first time ever match between Gunther and Randy Orton at WWE King and Queen of the Ring in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia.